Ingrid.
Hi.
We had just a few questions from staff this week, or this month. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening as far as we've had some new leaders and where are we at with everything?
Yeah, so our new president started last week at the beginning of April. Her name is Monica Smith. She is a nurse by training, previously an APP, and she's had a variety of different nursing related responsibilities over her career. Most recently, she was a COO at Missouri Baptist in the East Side, but she spent a lot of years in her career at Boone Hospital in Columbia, where she had a variety of different positions, and at one point they were part of BJC and then became independent before she switched over to Missouri Baptist. So we're excited to have her. We're excited to have a nurse as our leader, which is new and exciting. If you've seen, I've been touring her around, so say hi to her when you see her, and start to get to know her, because she really is invested in our hospital and what the future holds. We also have officially named our last nursing director for St. Luke's East. That's Carrie Willis. So she was previously our PCU manager for many, many years and has been with our system for an extremely long time. But she will be supporting the acute care areas and transition to that role just this week. With that, we now have all of our nursing director positions hired, which is a very exciting thing for me. We do have several open manager positions across the house, and if anyone is interested in applying, talk with your leader. We're looking for the right candidate to fill all of those positions. So yeah, those are my people updates.
Thank you. We've also heard a little bit of buzz about the Tier 1 huddles and a little bit of confusion about why we are doing huddles.
Yeah, so some areas have always had a Tier 1 huddle, and Tier 1 is sort of like the unit-based huddle. They were done at different times with different level of information, and every time I watched them, a lot of them were very one-way flow of information. And huddles are really intended to be bi-directional. It's also a way to get information up to our Tier 3 huddle, which is our 9 a.m. safety huddle that we do for the entity. So ahead of World Cup, we really started looking at, well, how can we have some standardization to this that we can facilitate information flow? Additionally, we've had a ton of changes, as you guys know and feel every day. And I think every time I open my email, there's a new message, whether it be a newsletter or a sway or an email about a change that's happening. And we were noticing the sheer volume of those important dates, due dates, and then clinical changes that are really important. So you could work one day and then not come back for a week and not have the information that you might need to do the work when you come back, because so many things have changed. So that was the second why. And then the third why is really related to escalation pathways. So recently we've had a couple of issues with equipment where it seems like units and staff were aware of those issues, but it wasn't getting shared real time. And whether they got entered later in incident reports and origamis is a separate issue. But really, when we're having an issue real time, especially if it's happened more than once, we need to be able to throw up a flag and say, hey, this is weird, what's going on here? And especially if we're noticing it across multiple areas. And so the intentional pause during the Tier 1 huddles, particularly during the steps section, which is that right-hand side with the red and the green magnets, it allows us to say, like, hey, are we having an issue with supplies, any issues with team, with process, with staff, all those different pieces, so we can make sure that we are escalating appropriately and getting support as needed, because there have been times where we weren't getting that. It's also a great way to get information back to you guys. So now that we have that binder, that's where those important dates are. It's being pre-populated. Hopefully, if you haven't been working recently, you can look through that book and get a quick update on everything you need to know without having to go to your email. So it should empower people to be able to solve their own problems. So when we're thinking about those Tier 1 huddles and why we're standardizing it and why we've done it, it's really to make sure that we have a good way to escalate and get information in two directions, facilitate flow of information for any escalations. And then finally, that top workload section is also really important for us to know if for any reason we have a higher workload than normal, or to have a particular focus on our quality metrics, those process metrics that we might need to be aware of so that we can hyper focus and be prepared to take care of our most at-risk patients and help prevent any of those safety issues, quality issues that we really want to make sure that we're avoiding. So if that isn't how your huddle is happening on your unit, I encourage you to talk to your unit PQE, to talk to your chair and co-chair, to talk to your managers, your clinical coordinators, your CRNs, your CLRNs, all those folks, to make sure that we are getting the right information there, because it is intended to be a value add for you all and not just one more thing that's happening.
Thanks, Ingrid.